Russian tank column exploded in brutal attack of the 45th Ukrainian Artillery Brigade. A video appearing to show Russian tanks being destroyed by Ukrainian forces has gone viral on Twitter. The clip was posted by one of the Twitter users on Wednesday and has so far been viewed more than 110,000 times. This is how the suicidal attacks of Russian columns look like. It was the 9th month of the war. The Twitter user captioned the video. The clip shows a bird's eye view of tanks traveling in a column. Some of the tanks appear to fire at a target in front of them. Seconds later, the column is hit by a massive explosion and a large black cloud begins to rise into the sky. Media has not been able to independently verify when and where the video was taken. Over the weekend, a video that showed a successful strike on Russian armored vehicles, posted by the Ukrainian Ministry of Defense, also went viral. The video has since garnered a total of 500,000 views. In the video, a vehicle at the front of the line is hit by unspecified Ukrainian ordnance and sputters to a stop. The vehicle begins to smoke before exploding. In recent weeks, according to reports, Russia has been losing multiple tanks on a daily basis in Ukraine. According to a Forbes report in October, Russia has been losing an estimated 10 tanks a day compared to Ukraine's 2. The report also highlighted that an attacking army usually loses more equipment than defending forces, which have the option to hunker down. On Monday, Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky outlined his conditions for his country to have peace talks with Russia. Zelensky said that Ukraine had previously attempted peace talks, but that those interested in peace should be focused on stopping Russian aggression. He also emphasized 5 key conditions for peace talks to take place. Once again, restoration of our territorial integrity, respect for the UN Charter, compensation for all damages caused by the war, punishment of every war criminal, and guarantees that this will not happen again, Zelensky said. An advisor to Zelensky has also said that Ukraine is prepared to negotiate with Russia to end the conflict once Russian President Vladimir Putin is out of office. On Monday, Mikhailo Podolyev tweeted that Ukraine has never refused to negotiate an end to the conflict, noting the long-standing position that Kyiv would only negotiate after Russia withdraws its troops from the entirety of Ukraine. Meanwhile, Russia has likely lost half its tanks, used up most of its precision-guided weapons, and suffered tens of thousands of casualties so far in its war against Ukraine, the Pentagon's top policy official said Tuesday. Russia President Vladimir Putin has failed, Under Secretary of Defense for Policy Colin Kahl told reporters Tuesday. Russia will emerge from this war weaker than it went in, he predicted. They have suffered tens of thousands of casualties and 8 months orders of magnitude more than the Soviet Union experienced in Afghanistan in 10 years. Kahl added that Russian forces have probably lost half of their main battle tanks in the entire Russian military, and they've bogged down more than 80% of their land force in Ukraine. The Kremlin has also spent down a majority of their precision-guided munitions in Ukraine, and the sanctions and export controls will make it very difficult for them to rebuild their military to what it looked like before the war, Kahl said. Russia has struggled in its land war with Ukraine since it first began on February 24th, with Kahl calling the invasion a massive strategic failure. Russian Defense Minister Sergei Shoigu, in a rare live televised speech, said Wednesday that Russian troops would retreat from the west bank of the Dnipro River and give up the provincial capital of Kherson, the one regional capital they'd managed to capture in nearly 9 months of fighting. Russian officials confessed that their supply lines were in jeopardy from the continued Ukrainian assault, giving Kyiv the victory it has so desperately sought after several months of major offensives on two fronts. Coming just a day after Democrats had a better-than-expected result in the U.S. midterm elections, the battlefield victory gives Ukraine hope of more Western aid as Congress prepares to debate a lame-duck military aid package before the new Congress is sworn in next January. Though some U.S. and Ukrainian officials aren't ruling out the possibility that Shoigu's order could be a feint, the Russian retreat, if it proves real, would also be a political blow for Russian President Vladimir Putin. Kherson Oblast was one of the sections of Ukraine that Russia pretended to annex in faux referendums this fall, vowing that Russian territory would never be surrendered. The Ukrainian victory in the bloody counteroffensive into Kherson, which was captured by Russian forces just days into the war, showed just how much the Ukrainians had flipped the script from Putin's pre-war buildup. Unlike the lightning offensive into Russian-occupied areas of Kharkiv in eastern Ukraine, Ukrainian troops didn't have the benefit of surprise in the south. Bit by bit, taking losses and lumps, Ukraine wore down Russian forces and supply lines backed with US-provided rockets and NATO-standard artillery.